Alright everyone, we do a historic content list. Well, we wanted to do a little wrinkle to that this week. Everybody knows, if you listen in and view the show, Teddy's a big movie guy. So we figured let's do a list of Teddy's favorite greatest boxing movies of all time. So with that being said, bud, we're going to jump right into it. Your top 10 greatest boxing movies of all time.
All right, start with one that really, what is the weight class in boxing that really moves the sport? The head of the sport, the heavyweights. So number 10, got to start Requiem for a Heavyweight. Got to start with that. Great old movie. Just like the great fighters were from many years ago, a lot of them from today, I get it, but a lot of them from years ago, a lot of the movies that you just don't hear about anymore, the black and whites, the classics, they came from another year, another time, another generation, and Requiem for Heavyweight was one of them. It was, look, how can you talk about boxing without talking about the sad side of boxing too? When an older fighter is told he can't fight anymore. We've seen this unfortunately play out in real life, and we still do. And it's a reminder of probably why we need proper judging, a national commission, a pension, because they can't fight forever. And it is a reminder. And it is a classic movie. Number 9, The Setup. Hey, I hate to go down this road here, but I'm sorry. It's about a corrupt boxing manager. Shaka! Shaka! Did I knock anyone off their chair? Again, I like these old boxing movies set in the era of when boxing was a huge sport in this country. So I hope you're liking my list. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to go to number 8. And I'm going to go to, I don't know if I'm going to surprise you. Maybe I am. I think I surprised my son a little bit. But you know that I want to always give credit to the more modern day too. If it doesn't compromise my criterion of you got to be special to be on one of these lists. And I think this was special enough. And it was, again, it's going to shock some how recent it was, but Creed. The Creed, the new series. Yeah, Richie likes it. He's got his fist up in the air. Creed, it was another one from the Rocky series, the Rocky movie. That's where it was born from, about Apollo Creed's son fighting and trained by Rocky Balboa. Hey, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for that stuff anyways. Fathers, sons. I'm a sucker.
It's a great movie. Michael B. Jordan did a great job.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was a great movie. Great enough to be number 8 on my all-time great. I really did. Again, his Apollo Creed's son fights and trained by Rocky Balboa, fights Creed's nemesis, that was Creed's nemesis, and then became his friend, and then he trained him. So I thought it was good, and you got to give it credit. I mean, you would have thought we were all Rockied out, and then Creed comes along. Really, that makes it pretty. You got to be good. If it wasn't good, after all those Rocky movies, people would never really accepted it. I think that's a good point. I want to make it. Anyway, number 7. I go back to Catskill, New York. Oh, my God. I've been married 42 years, going on 43 years. And so this is got to be 47 years, 45, 46 years ago. I had all my kids in the Catskill Boxing Club, maybe 47 years ago. I had them all. I took them to the Main Street on Catskill, an old movie theater. I took them, about 15 of them. I used to take them out to keep them together and do more than just train them in the gym, but keep a part of their life a little bit and make sure they were doing good, and I took them all to a movie. And I got to tell you, I heard of a couple of the kids. They were from the ages of 10 years old to 15, 16. And I heard a couple of them messing around with one of the younger ones and said, Gary, I think it was Gary Young, the Young brothers, there was a bunch of them, started messing around. Gary, you crying? You crying, Gary? I ain't crying. I ain't crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. You're not crying. Leave him alone, guys. Leave him alone. It's okay if you cried, Gary. I didn't cry, though. I didn't. All right, it's okay. Wipe your face. Wipe that. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let me just. Come here. Come here. I know you weren't crying. It's all right. But if you were, but I tell you, I was. Just about. They were worried about it, Gary crying, but they didn't see their coach. There was almost a tear there. The champ. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for remakes. It's a remake of a classic movie. The original champ. This remake was with John Voight as the champ, not Jackie Cooper, who played in the original. Again, call me a softie. Not too many people would call me that, right? Or a sucker for sentimental films.
That's right.
Okay.
But I might have gotten a little wet-eyed. Maybe. Nobody will ever know. You will never know because I didn't completely say I did. Number 6, Fat City. 2 fighters fight outside the ring. Now, here's the thing for me. They're great fighters. They wind up having a fight out in the street outside the ring. And I'm just thinking, this is my own take. And I know we have great historians that watch this show that are really great historians, great boxing fans, period. All of you, you're great boxing fans. You guys are. You're great. And there's some that are great historians, like our friend who we met in Saudi.
Yes, Dan Morley.
He's great. He's great. I'll say it again. He's great.
Across
No
the
more.
pond there in the UK.
No
boy,
more,
Dan.
because if I say one more, I'll have him up there with Sugar Ray Robinson, and that's calm down, Ted.
No, he does a great job.
He does a tremendous job. He's a gentleman. He does a great job. There's a lot of people out there that watch this show that really, they love the sport, and some of them know a little more than others do about it. And Fat City, for me, this is just for me. It had stuff in there with 2 fighters fight outside the ring. And I'm wondering if it could be a take on the legendary fight between the great Mickey Walker and Harry Greb. Yes, they had a fight outside the ring. Yeah, not the ring in the venue, in the arena. But when the fight was over, legend has it, I think it was in front of Toots Shores in Manhattan, in front of Madison Square Garden. I believe. I could be wrong. But if legend has it, that they already fought their fight, of course, in the proper place inside the arena, in the ring, and then they got into it outside. And that the great Mickey Walker and Harry Greb went at it for a minute outside. I don't know if this is a take on that. It did tweak my curiosity to wonder about it. To just wonder about it. I love these old films. Again, there just won't be any films made like this anymore. There really won't. So, number 6, Fat City. Okay, number 5, another one. Body and Soul. John Garfield. You guys, if you watch the old black and whites, the old great movies that I'm talking about from that era, he was always in the gangster movies. Oops, how did he wind up in a boxing movie? That he was always portrayed in gangster movie. I don't know. But John Garfield was a great old-time actor. And as I said, he played in, he's pretty famous for the gangster films back in the day. He played Charlie Davis, an honest fighter. There's a lot of honest fighters. But there was some that, back in the day, hey, I wouldn't be being honest with you, if my sport, the sport I love, that I've dedicated my whole life to, didn't have times back then when some fighters took dives. If I ever went into a list of some of the names, some of you, it'd probably be upsetting. It doesn't stop them from being a great fighter. I mean, they accomplished great things. But back in the day, they weren't making big money, and it was different forces at hand, if you get what I'm saying. And sometimes they had to do what they had to do, I guess. And so there was a little of that. This was an honest fighter in a tough, dirty business sometimes. Tough business. And I believe this was John Garfield's last role. I believe it was his last role. And it was in Body and Soul. Number 4. Oh, this is a great one. This is a documentary one. Documentary type movie. Because this is the real deal. This is the real McCoy. I mean, this is watching two great fighters at a historic moment. When We Were Kings. The real life footage and documentation of the heavyweight title, historic heavyweight title fight that took place. It was probably about 4 a.m. that took place between George Foreman and Ali and Zaire. Wow. I even remember the name of the producer, Leon Gass, because he came to me to talk to me about certain aspects of it. And he did a great job. It was a tremendous, I know you loved it. I know.
We went to the premiere. I remember. I was young, but I agree with you. This was the greatest documentary for me of all time.
Oh boy, that's big. That's big praise, and I can't argue. It was a hell of a
Ali Boumbaye.
Ali Boumbaye. Ali Boumbaye.
There was a lot of talk about the possibility of rain. I don't think the weather could be any more beautiful than it is tonight. And Ali is getting the people to chant Ali Boumbaye. That means Ali kill him.
Foreman wasn't kind towards Foreman. That means Ali kill him. But Ali was the favorite. Ali, 100,000 people. 100,000 people in Zaire, out on the dirt roads leading to the arena, to where they set up the stadium. On the dirt roads, 100,000 people as a caravan of cars with the champ drove to the fight. There they are, all lined up. Ali Boumbaye, kids, men, grown-ups, everybody. Many of them with no shoes, because it was a poverty-stricken area. They're out there, but they weren't poor that night. They weren't poor that night, because they had in their hearts and their soul, they were lifted. They were lifted by the presence of Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. That'd get rid of poverty fast. Oh my goodness. And there they were. Never forget that. Ali Boumbaye. Number 3, Harder They Fall. Humphrey Bogart's. Actually, that was not John Garfield's last role. It was not. I'm sorry. This is where I knew that it was one great actor's last role in one of these films that I selected. And it was the great Humphrey Bogart. His last film. It was an adaptation of a great writer. I knew him. I was blessed to know him and to be friends with him, Bud Schulberg. And it was an adaptation of Bud Schulberg's book. And it was kind of like what Stallone did in Rocky. Schulberg used the real-life story of... In the original Rocky movie, Balboa, Sylvester Stallone, the writer, the creator of it, the actor, that was his coming out party. That's what made him what he is now, a legend. He took a real life fight and wrote the story of that movie, the script of that movie from a real life fight. If there's some people out there that didn't know, it was the fight with Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder, and Muhammad Ali for the heavyweight title. Chuck Wepner was, at that point, he was a club fighter, and he had supposedly no chance against the great Ali, and he wound up dropping him in the fight. 50, well, whatever. He might have stepped on his foot and hit him.
He definitely stepped on his foot. But
Okay,
he got credited the knockdown.
But he got credited a knockdown, and he went the distance. And the Bayonne Bleeder, a club fighter, a fighter that could only dream that someday he could be in a ring with greatness. And his dream came true. And he went the distance. He didn't win, but he went the distance with the great Muhammad Ali. That created the idea. Sylvester Stallone was at that fight. He left there. He didn't know it. He probably didn't have money to get a subway home. But he left there a millionaire. It just didn't all... The cha-ching stuff didn't start happening yet. But he left there basically a millionaire because he had that idea in his head. For you people out there, have an idea. Take that idea and go with it. Because that is what creates success and greatness. Have an idea and take that and believe in the idea and go and make that idea play out in whatever it is. And that's what he did. And he had the idea of this guy going the distance that was an underdog, had no shot, and he made Rocky. And that's what this is. Harder They Fall, Humphrey Bogart's last film. Bud Schulberg, the great writer, used the real-life story of heavyweight champion Primo Carnero from Italy. They brought him in, big, huge man, massive man. They used the story. It was a sad story in the end. He won the heavyweight title. And he got used up, and he went back to Italy, and most of his money was he was not treated well. He was robbed by crooked people around him, but he did have one honest guy around him that gave him some money, and he went back to Italy. But they took advantage of him. The business chewed him up. But again, Bud Schulberg took the story, or they took the story of Bud Schulberg, which was all about Primo Carnero, the harder they fall, the sad story of the fighter who, exploited by promoters and managers, one of the old classics. Again, they don't make movies like this anymore. It's about the underbelly part of boxing, the ugly side, but also a guy from Italy that they brought here, and he did become heavyweight champ. They did make him heavyweight champion, and that story is really the basis of Harder They Fall.
And being at the Boxing Hall of Fame, Bud, just as you talked about the size of Primo, his casting of his fist, I've never seen anything like that. It was incredible just to see that. But anyway, I was just thinking of that.
You're right. Size. It was so big. Like George Foreman had a big one too, but you're right. He was so big. You know who had a big fist too? Not as big, but I'm always thinking about our fans over across the pond. I gotta throw them in. I gotta throw them a crumpet once in a while. You know what I mean? I can't help it. It's how I feel about them, about all the fans. But old Henry had big cast fists too. Old Henry, Cooper. What are their favorites? What are their favorites? Heavyweight fighter. All right. Number two. Wow. Number one. It wasn't easy, bud. It really wasn't. It was hard. Man, I thought it was hard picking these. I wondered the fans are going to be as tough on me with this as they are with the fighters, with the fight list. But I thought the fight list was hard. This was hard too. Number two, Rocky, the original Rocky. Wow, the original was. What can I say? It was that good. Like I said earlier, Sylvester Stallone's coming out moment. What made him. Great story based on a real-life fight of Muhammad Ali defending his title versus a club fighter, the Bayonne Bleeder, Chuck Wepner. The all-time underdog story. Really, it is. Because how many times have you heard, it was really inspiring, but how many times have you heard since Rocky where there'll be a great fight going on with an underdog, and all of a sudden you hear the commentator saying, "This is a real life Rocky moment." When you
Cinderella
hear
Man.
that, yeah, Cinderella Man, yeah, right. But when you hear somebody use that phrase, "Oh, this is a real life Rocky moment," yeah, like the Cinderella Man. When you hear that phrase used, you know that movie was impactful. That movie stood for something. Yeah, James Braddock, the real Cinderella Man. Wow, beat the monster of his day. The monster of his day.
Max Baer.
Max Baer. You know Max Baer's son was what was his name? Not Junior. What they call him in Beverly Hillbillies?
Max Baer's son?
Max Baer's son, big kid. He called me up one day to talk about boxing. He was Jethro in the Beverly Hillbillies. He was Jethro.
No
Yeah,
way,
Max
never
Baer's
knew
son. Yeah, well, you get everything here. You get a lot of stuff here you don't know. You get a lot of stuff here, the fans. You never know what you're going to get over here. But, yeah, he was. But, yeah, he that was a real Cinderella story. You're not kidding. During the Depression, he was broke, and he was on hard times. And James Braddock fights Max Baer, who they didn't even want to. They didn't even want to commission a fight. Max Baer had killed somebody in the ring. Big right hand puncher. Powerful. He had killed a guy, died unfortunately in the ring. And they were afraid that he would kill Braddock. And they made the fight, and Braddock outboxes him. Cinderella story. Number one. This is nothing attached to Cinderella with this, by the way. This is not close to Cinderella type story. This is the Raging Bull. Nobody will mix up Jake LaMotta and Cinderella. Nobody will confuse those two, okay? Nobody. Robert De Niro did an incredible job as the real fighter, Jake LaMotta, who was on my list of greatest middleweights, by the way. Yeah. A great fighter, not quite as great as a person, incredibly portrayed, very honestly portrayed. Very honest. You know, in some ways, he had we all have faults or warts. He had a couple. But portrayed in black and white, they went back to the old film style of black and white. And it worked. It was effective. It was a hell of a movie. It was vivid, hard-hitting. You felt like you visited that time after you watched it. That's how I felt. Like you really did. You felt like you were transported back into that time. It was a time. It was a lot of great stuff going on there. Great. It was a time. It was a gritty time. And it was a hell of a movie. And I hope that this is a hell of a list that the fans like. I hope so. But if nothing else, it's a list that, again, it can invoke conversation. You liked it, you loved it, you didn't like it, you didn't quite love it, but you thought this guy, this one, that one should have been on there. Bring your comments to us. Really.
Yeah. No, it was fun. I enjoyed listening to it. I'd agree. Number one for me, Raging Bull. I mean, talk about fighters, right? You got to have the supporting cast. You got to have sometimes a good manager or a good cutman or a great trainer. And you can't go wrong with Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro combination on top of Jake LaMotta and Sugar Ray Robinson's story. There's a few I'm just going to throw out there real quickly, some more of the modern ones, because there's so many great movies. It's like doing these other lists. It's impossible. You got to leave some good ones out there. The more recent ones, we just talked about Cinderella Man. Russell Crowe did a great job in that one.
Tremendous.
Yeah. How about the fighter? Your great friend Mickey Ward.
Yeah,
Dickie
yeah.
Eklund's story.
Yes.
You had
Very
Mark
honest.
Wahlberg and Christian
And a
Bale.
very honest story. That Mickey Ward is a salt of the earth, special man, and he
Special.
really built himself up to a champ. Didn't have the neon talents of some guy, and he built himself up to where he did, and the hard way. I got to tell you one time, he's so honest, this Mickey Ward. He is. He's just so honest. One time, I saw him after the movie. I said, how'd you like it? He goes, yeah, I just don't remember my brother, my brother,
Dickie.
Dickie. He goes, I just don't remember Dickie jumping out quite that many windows. That's all. That's all. That's Mickey Ward.
The best. The
That's
best.
Mickey.
Yeah, he's the best. And just two others I'll touch on. $1 Million Baby. I know why it wouldn't be in your list. I know you and your movie.
The
You don't
ending.
like the ending.
The ending. The ending.
Very
That's
sad.
it.
Very sad. But Hilary Swank, incredible job, and the great Clint Eastwood, right? And then the last one, for me, this one would have been in the top 10. The Great White Hype.
That was
I
funny.
just thought it was great. It was funny, right? You had Samuel L. Jackson, you had Damon Wayans, you had a young Jimmy Fox, great supporting cast.
They were
Funny
playing
movie.
Don King, the whole thing.
They're
Yeah, it
playing
was
the
pretty-
Tyson, Peter McNeely, right? And I thought it was a
it
really
was-
funny movie, a great movie.
It
but
was. It was. It was.
You had a
It
great
was.
list. I hope the viewers enjoyed it. And like Teddy said, leave your comments. Let us know your list. Let us know a movie we might have left out. And we're going to keep doing these lists. So keep giving us some suggestions, some ideas. And tune in next week and see what our new list will be.